What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and today I have a very special video for you guys because I have my top 10 greatest NXT UK Women's Championship matches of all time. Now of course, I have done this with the NXT UK Heritage Cup as well as the NXT UK Tag Team titles. Now I will be doing the women's title, and then I think sometime this weekend I'm going to potentially be doing this for the NXT title as well. Now, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering. You guys are wondering, wait a minute, didn't you just do a video earlier or something? I did, but I remembered that tomorrow I have not one but two appointments, one with my doctor and one with the dermatologist. Plus, I think we're going to be having a power outage later tonight. I don't even know what the hell's going on, but it's literally 105 outside right now, which is absolutely horrifying. Let me check my phone. Hang on. It's like... Yeah, like right now it's 107 outside. Tomorrow is going to be about the same. It's going to be 104 tomorrow. It's going to be nasty for the next couple days after today. So yeah, so there's going to be a bit of a power outage. So I figure why not get one step ahead, if you will. But hopefully you guys are ready for this top 10 video. If you guys are, and you guys want to see more top 10 videos in the future, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Obviously we know that when it comes to the NXT UK Women's title, and obviously this video is for those who had watched NXT UK over the last 6 years like I did. You guys know that when it comes to the NXT UK Women's title, there were only 4 champions that were around: Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, Kaylee Ray, and Meiko Satomura. Obviously, Mandy Rose being the last champion, having to unify both that title and the NXT Women's title this past Sunday at Worlds Collide. But I'm only basing this top 10 list off of the matches that we had seen within the 6 years that we had the title before Worlds Collide. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it, kicking things off with the triple threat match for said title between Kaylee Ray or I guess Alba Fire, Toni Storm, and Piper Niven, or I guess Doudrop, at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2 in 2020, I want to say? It was like 2020 if I remember correctly. So Takeover Blackpool 2 was a rather interesting card because of the fact that we had quite the interesting lineup of matches. I actually think that I have that card in my book. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We had 5 matches on the card. We had Eddie Dennis versus Trent Seven. We had obviously the triple threat match in which Kaylee Ray, actually I believe she pinned Toni Storm to win the title. Gallus retained the NXT UK Tag Team titles in a ladder match against 3 other teams, and then Gunther defeated Joe Coffey, making him tap out to a sleeper to retain the title, which was a hell of a card. And this match actually, in my opinion, I feel like this match was basically the highlight of the whole card because of the fact that Toni Storm had become NXT UK Women's Champion earlier on during that time, like right around right around I'd say I think it was what, TakeOver Cardiff, if I remember correctly. Somewhere around there. I want to say it was like somewhere around there. Maybe it was I think it was maybe TakeOver Blackpool 1, and then she ended up holding on to the title until all the way through Cardiff. In which case Storm ended up losing it, which was pretty nuts. But this match was actually unique because it showcased the rivalry between both Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm, with Piper Niven being basically the dark horse of the whole rivalry, being left out as like a nothing, you know. So for her to be injected into this match in that sense was probably the perfect way for Kaylee Ray to have won the title in that triple threat match. So this was actually a really cool one. Although I will admit, the way it ended could have ended just a little bit differently, but still, I think it probably would have ended the same way no matter what, in my opinion. But we move on to number 9, Meiko Satomura versus Blair Davenport, January 6th, 2022. Earlier this year, this was actually the match that got Blair Davenport injured. Injured at the hands of Meiko Satomura during their match, and despite the injury, I feel like Blair Davenport could have won the match had she have not gotten injured. Had she not have gotten injured, hands down, Blair Davenport would have been champion, and against Mandy Rose, it would have ended the same way. But I gotta admit, Blair Davenport has proven to be a massive threat to Meiko's reign as champion before all this happened. With the end of NXT UK, with the announcement of NXT Europe, Blair Davenport was a big threat to Meiko's reign as champion. And I have to admit, as I am literally looking on my Instagram stories, that Blair Davenport was actually really dominant when she got to NXT UK, but now that she's a part of NXT, I've got no doubt in my mind that she will definitely become a big threat to Mandy Rose and her reign as NXT Women's Champion. But we do move on to number 8, Kaylee Ray versus Piper Niven in a Falls Count Anywhere match on NXT UK, November 19th, 2020. This was actually right. Yeah, I believe this was the time when, as there's literally something caught in my throat. Right when COVID, when a lot of the restrictions from COVID had been, or actually rather some of the COVID restrictions got lifted, to where NXT UK would be able to host live action on Peacock and of course the WWE Network. Actually, it was the WWE Network and then Peacock. But I have to admit, this was literally one of Kaylee Ray's toughest challenges, aside from her match with Meiko Satomura, dropping the title to Meiko. Aside from that, this was basically one of her toughest challenges because sorry guys, I've got YouTube on my laptop and I'm listening to the Serenade of Water. Shout Shoutouts to Ocarina of Time, probably one of the best Zelda games in the series. That's my opinion. But aside from Mako Satomura, Piper Niven or Dewdrop was one of Alba Fire's toughest challenges, especially False Count Anywhere. There was literally no rules. Pinfall or submission anywhere in the BT, anywhere in the BT Sport Studio, I believe it was in East London. Funny enough, I have to admit this was a pretty cool matchup because I have never seen a False Count Anywhere match that was this brutal. And of course, too, you guys can watch all these matches on Peacock. Just type in NXT UK and you're good to go. But this was a really cool one because I believe this was one of the nights that I believe this was one of Piper Niven's last nights before she got called up to Raw with the help of Eva Marie. And funny thing is that nobody on commentary knew who the hell she was, but obviously we knew because she was on NXT UK, which made little sense whatsoever. It made little sense whatsoever, but I gotta admit, Piper Niven proved she deserved to be the NXT UK Women's Champion. Did she win it? Unfortunately not. In fact, she has yet to win a title in WWE. I don't know exactly when. She'll be a champion in WWE, but when she does become champion, I have no doubt in my mind she will be a very, very dominant champion. But coming in at number 7, we have a match that actually happened just a few months ago. Mako Satomura versus Ivy Nile for the obviously for said title, June 9th, 2022. This was around the time that NXT was invading NXT UK, showcasing to the fans in the UK what NXT was all about. And some of the matches that we had during that time, we had Diamond Mine's Damon Kemp and Gallus' own Wolfgang taking on Shaw Samuels and of course Noam Dar. We had Von Wagner versus Sam Gradwell. We had Amel, the French Hope in action. A lot of good matches, and this one was no different. This was Ivy Nile's toughest challenge because Mako always said it best that the only way for superstars to want a title shot is if they ask for it, and Ivy Nile was no different. She asked for a title shot, only not to see if she has what it takes to be a champion, but more so to see if she has what it takes to hang with the big girls. And I'm not just talking about Mako, Mako Satomura. I'm talking, Mandy Rose. I'm talking Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez, just name a few. See if she can hang with those women if she were to get called up to the main roster. And this matchup proved she has what it takes. Obviously, yeah, she still has a little ways to go in order for her to get called up to the main roster, but I've got no doubt in my mind she's ready. She is 100% ready for the main roster, but again, she still has a little ways to go. But obviously, but as far as these four matches go, Kaylee Ray won the triple threat match. Mako defeated Blair Davenport, or actually rather the match ended in a no contest. because or actually rather it won. Mako won, but it was by a referee stoppage. Kaylee Ray defeated Piper Niven, and of course Mako defeated Ivy Now. But coming in at number 6, we have Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 1, the first NXT UK Takeover event, which actually was a hell of a card. In fact, I want to see if I can look it up, because I know I know for a fact I don't have it in my book. I believe so. Let's see, TLC. Yeah, I don't have it in my book, so I gotta go on here. Let's see. $2019. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I know that Butch defended the NXT UK title against Joe Coffey of Gallus. Rhea Ripley obviously defended against Toni Storm. We had Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. Originally, it was supposed to have been Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks, but because of the fact that JD McDonough attacked Travis Banks backstage, Finn Balor ended up becoming a second option, if you will. And then of course too we had Dave Mastiff versus Eddie Dennis, and of course the Grizzled Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake took on Mustache Mountain for the NXT UK Tag Team titles. And unfortunately, Mustache Mountain is no more because of, well, we all know what happened. We also had as well a couple of other matches that were on the card, but they were only there to, for a future episode of NXT UK. So we had Ligero versus Saxon Huxley, unfortunately no longer with NXT UK, which is unfortunate. Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner, who are known as Ludwig Kaiser, and of course Giovanni Vinci, taking on Subculture's Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, and then of course Ginny against Isla Dawn. I don't know if Ginny or Dawn or even Huxley are ever going to be a part of NXT, but we will see as time progresses. But Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, probably literally one of the best matches of the card, because of the fact that these two battled it out in the finals of the tournament to crown the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion, which obviously Rhea won. But Toni Storm wanted to win this title simply because she wanted to prove herself. She wanted to see if she had what it took to be a champion, because if you guys don't know, she won the second what the hell? Oh wow. She won it because if you guys don't remember, she won the second Mae Young Classic tournament in 2018, in which the winner would not only be, not only would the winner, obviously win the tournament, but she would also get a title shot against any champion that she desired. And obviously it's true that Storm could have went to Raw. She could have went to SmackDown. My hair is acting up. She could have went over to NXT, but she waited for this night, NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 1, to beat Rhea Ripley and become NXT UK Women's Champion, which obviously we all know what happened later on at TakeOver Cardiff. It just was not meant to be for Toni Storm. But coming in at number 5, we are halfway there, guys. Halfway there. Coming in at number 5 is Rhea Ripley versus Isla Dawn. That was filmed on October 14th, and it was aired December 19th, 2018. Yeah, they decided to do that for the first several months, and then after that I believe they would post them like a week, and like I think it was like a week or two in advance or something like that. But this was a really good match, because Isla Dawn took Rhea Ripley to the absolute limit in this matchup. But of course, Rhea Ripley picking up the victory. Excuse me, no surprises there. But Isla Dawn has always proven to be a worthy contender to be a champion in WWE, but never could seize that moment, seize that opportunity, because she was always holding herself back. And this one was no different, because even though this was one of Isla Dawn's first of only a small handful of title opportunities, Isla Dawn has always proved she can get the job done, even though her win and loss record has been a bit iffy, if you will. But coming in at number 4, this is actually one of my favorites. Meiko Satomura versus the French Hope Amel, July 15th, 2021. This was one of the preludes to Amel starting to become a babyface, because if you guys don't know, throughout most of her time in NXT UK, she was always a heel. She didn't care about the fans. She didn't care about anything. All she cared about was making money, and obviously I don't blame her. But truth be told, I believe this was one of her first couple of title opportunities on NXT UK, and Amel came so close from defeating the final boss, but the final boss was just too damn strong. I must admit, with NXT UK no longer around, I would love to see Amel in NXT, maybe even on the main roster. I just don't know if that'll truly happen, but that's totally up to WWE. But coming in at number 3, since we were on the topic of TakeOver Blackpool, we gotta talk about it. TakeOver Cardiff, Kaylee Ray, Toni Storm. This was a nail bite. This was a nail biter, because if you guys don't know, earlier that year, NXT UK was a part of the music festival. Was a part of the 2019 Download Festival, in somewhere in England. I want to say it was like in London or something like that. And this lasted quite a while, actually. This lasted I think it was like maybe a month or two. And then of course too, if you guys don't know, during that time, Kaylee Ray was a part of a battle royal to determine who would challenge Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's title at TakeOver Cardiff. I believe it was a 20-woman battle royal, and it came down to two: Xia Brookside and Kaylee Ray. Xia Brookside thought that she had won the battle royal. Nope, Kaylee Ray was never eliminated, and she eliminated Xia Brookside. I believe Xia did get a title shot later on, but she ended up failing miserably. But Kaylee Ray, she was going to do whatever it took to win the NXT UK Women's title off of Toni Storm. She did everything she could, and she even resorted to cheating to win. And that right there was one of the reasons why she became one of the most, literally the most dominant NXT UK Women's Champion of all time. Literally so dominant, nobody was able to defeat her until Meiko Satomura. But coming in at number 2, this might be a little sus, but it is Toni Storm versus Nina Samuels. Filmed April 18th, aired May 29th, 2018. This was a rather unique matchup. Nina Samuels has only had, I think she only had like maybe 1 or 2 title opportunities. This was actually one of them. And Nina Samuels, despite, you know, the whole, you know, oh, this is the Nina Samuels show, this is my brand, blah, blah, blah. Despite that, I think, honestly, Nina Samuels proved that she's worthy of becoming NXT UK Women's Champion. But if you guys thought that this matchup was insane, was pretty good, the number 1 match, Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, the finals of the tournament to crown a new champion. Filmed August 26th, aired November 28th. Yeah, think about that. Think about that. 3 months. 3 months. It did not air until 3 months later. Can you guys believe that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But this was a really great, a really insane matchup, because you had two of NXT UK's best talent in Rhea Ripley and of course Toni Storm, and they proved they were gonna do whatever it took to become champion. And they actually had a lot of respect for each other, funny enough. But this matchup, all it took was a single riptide for Rhea Ripley to become the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion, and of course too, Mandy Rose being the last NXT UK Women's Champion in history. I am not surprised that Mandy Rose would be champion, but unfortunately, but of course you guys know I chose not to put that triple threat match in this top 10, because this is going from the first episode of NXT UK all the way through the last, like right around that time frame. And yeah, but I must admit that triple threat match at Worlds Collide, absolutely insane. Like probably one of the best matches of the card. But this matchup was basically the finals of the tournament to crown the first ever champion. Rhea Ripley won, and it proved that women's wrestling is real. Those two ladies proved women's wrestling, especially in the UK, is 100% real, and I have no doubt in my mind. Toni Storm is already doing her own thing outside of WWE. Rhea Ripley doing her own thing on Raw, dealing with, obviously dealing with Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Edge, but that match right there, the finals of that tournament, was basically the match that got Rhea Ripley, that put Rhea Ripley on the map. And I've got no doubt in my mind Rhea Ripley will be champion again in WWE. But that brings me to the question of the day: which NXT UK Women's Championship match do you think should have been put on this list? Make sure you guys post in the comments below, and do not forget, stay tuned. Sometime this weekend, I will be doing a top 10 for the NXT UK title. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. You won't believe what I have on this list. You will not believe it. But that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more top 10 videos in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. And as always, make sure you guys follow me on all my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.